All right, here we go. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am the five-star general. It took a minute. There ain't no goddamn getting up on me. Say load up. Because we going in. It's the war zone. Say get on the phone and call somebody. And tell them the five-star general is in the building. Say, I want to welcome you to the war zone. I want to welcome you to the war zone tonight. Do me a favor, if you can, because you're on your phone. Am I correct? Okay. I hear some clicking, so I don't know what that is. But we're going
Can
to
you hear
work
me
through
now?
it. I can hear you now perfectly. I want to say top of the evening to you. I'm the five-star general, and it's the war zone. And I am in the building. And tonight we have a special guest. It took us a minute because we were having technical difficulties. But the one thing about this lady is she didn't want to give up, and I'd be damned if I give up. We're going to figure it out. So we figured it out. It is what it is, and that's the way God wants it. That's the way He wants it. So what we're trying to figure out in the state rep race 142, there were some issues, and one of the biggest issues in that race was there was a lady by Natasha Demming Ruiz who was on the ballot, and nobody could figure out who. And one of the biggest issues Demming Ruiz was. Never did a form, never did a debate, never did anything, never had a push card, no poll workers, no nothing. So when I thought about it, I'm like, it don't sound right. But see, I'm not the type to go digging off into things that ain't my business. If it ain't my business, I stay away from it. But holding folk accountable is my business 24/7. Well, the person that they said, Natasha Demming Ruiz, and when we say that name, we normally think of a Latino. Ma'am, what's your name?
I'm Natasha Demming.
Are you Latino?
Shit, if it would, it surprise me.
All right, this the deal, y'all. We're gonna get straight into it, get into the heart of things. Can you give us a little information on who you are? Once again,
Yeah,
where you from.
I'm Natasha Demming. I'm from the Northeast Houston area. Like I say, I'm an average Jane, different from nobody else. And I'm not into politics. I can't tell you that much.
Wow. Okay. Well, I tell you what, tonight we finna find out what's going on whatever level. Now, I know that a lot of people have insinuated that you are the Natasha Demming that was on the ballot in 142. And I think that at the end of the day, you kind of figured out that, yeah, somebody throwing me in this thing. Because you started getting phone calls, you started having, news reporters showing up at your house. So my question to you, are you the Natasha Demming that's on the ballot?
No, sir, I'm not.
So the ballot for 142, did you vote in the last election?
No, sir.
I'm I'm sitting here because I'm a little stuck now. So you're not the Natasha Demming that everybody is saying.
No, sir.
So here's my question to you. When all of this started coming to you, how did it first come to you?
I actually heard about it on the news. Some of my family members after the election. My mother actually started getting calls, and that's what made us tune in. So after the election, I want to say back in what is that, January, February, whatever it is. I've been like I said, I've been watching it a long time, but I mean, you can't do too much till they put a face to a name.
So when they put, well, actually, I'm the one that put your picture out.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm gonna be honest with you. All it was designed to do was smoke you out so we could have a conversation.
Mhm.
And when
Mhm.
I gave you the call, I asked you, could we, have a conversation? And I think when we talked, I didn't come at you in an accusing way. I
You
came at you
ask
just asking
questions,
questions. And and one of the questions that I asked you is, did you know Richard Bonton?
and as I told you then, and I'll tell
And
you again, I know of Richard Bunton as well. So is all of the other candidates. I mean, because if you maneuver through Northeast Houston any part of town, you're gonna see signs, banners, billboards, whatever the case may be. But once again, I mean, I really care less who win what.
so you don't know Richard Bonton.
No, sir.
And this will sound crazy, but I have to ask it. Have you ever had any interactions with Mr. Bonton, whether it's in person, on the phone, whatever?
None whatsoever.
Now I'm gonna ask you about a couple of dates because there's some strange stuff going
Mm-hmm.
on. There's a campaign treasury report that had to be done if because you're not familiar with elections. Campaign treasury report that had to
Mm-hmm.
be done, and supposedly Natasha Demming signed that campaign report.
Mm-hmm.
Did that campaign treasury report?
Mm-hmm.
Did you sign that campaign treasury report?
I'm not even familiar with a campaign treasury report. Nevertheless, why would I sign something I'm not aware of?
Now, also, there's another document that you have to, fill out in order to actually run. And
Mm-hmm.
there's an affidavit that comes with that has to be notarized. And we know when we notarize something, you have to be there in person. You have
Mm-hmm.
to have a valid ID. It cannot be invalid. And
Mm-hmm.
on this document, Natasha Demming Ruiz signs this document, and also it's notarized.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you? Is that you on that document? Did you sign that document and notarize it?
No, sir.
Do you even know where the Harris County Democratic Party at, where this document was supposedly signed? Have you ever been there?
No, sir. The last time I voted in the election was for Obama. So, I mean, everybody else can do the math. And it was the first running, not the second, the first one.
So here's a voting question, and I just want people to hear what you told me on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you vote as an African American?
Because it doesn't benefit us any. I mean, if you look at our community, nobody is simply doing not a damn thing. I mean, and that's my personal opinion. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but a lot of us that live in the community, we send our kids to school districts everywhere else. I mean, not over here in this area. I mean, for me and some of my family and friends, I mean, and nevertheless, but I can't, like, once again, I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for myself. So I mean, I'm not into politics. I'm not a voter. I really don't give a damn who win what. And that goes from Bunton, Davis, Dutton, Jackson, Lee, Turner. I mean, I don't give a damn about none of them because it doesn't benefit nobody any. Not me, and nevertheless.
Okay, let's get down to the real stuff.
And yes,
The first,
I mean for some of the comments I'm seeing, yes, I am a registered voter. I can vote. I've never been in trouble. I'm not a felon, none of that. Yes, I am. Yes, I can vote. Do I choose to vote? No. And that's to my own discretion. Everybody's able to do whatever the fuck they feel whenever they feel it. I choose not to. So I can only speak for me. I can't speak for other people.
all right. Here come the tough questions, all right?
Go
Here
ahead.
come the tough. On November 9th, when the campaign treasury report was done, first of all, what do you do for a living?
I drive trucks, and I drive trucks all 48 states.
November 9th, when that document was signed, and it had to be signed before 5 p.m., where were you?
November the 9th, I was here, but I made it back to Houston maybe 3:45, 4 o'clock, give or take.
So that document had to be signed before 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because I drove trucks,
Mm-hmm.
I drove across country. When you
Mm-hmm.
come into town, what is your
Mm-hmm.
normal protocol when you coming back into town?
You deliver, you post trip, you let everybody come out, inspect their vehicle. I mean, paperwork has to be signed to make sure no damages are done. They get their property and you go about your business.
So, what time did you finish doing your post trip and parking your truck at that where you park it at? Because you a lot of y'all don't know you can't take these trucks home like talking about. So you got to leave them somewhere. What
Yeah.
time did you finish?
Maybe 5:15. Because I mean,
So
anybody doing anything, you're gonna commute. You're gonna talk to somebody some of the time. I mean, whether it's personal or business, you're gonna communicate with people some of the time.
okay, so you finished at 5:15. So I want y'all
Mm-hmm.
to understand what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
She finished at 5:15, and your where you drop your truck off at, where's that located at?
I think the log document I sent you is Houston Truck Centers, Hempstead Highway.
Way over there on Hempstead Highway. So there's if you finished at
Mm-hmm.
5:15, there's no way you could have made it to the Democratic Party to sign a document at
Mm-hmm.
5 o'clock. So that means you didn't sign the document on November 9th. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
First of all, where am I going? Because I mean, I'm not even aware of a Democratic Party office building. Nonetheless, hell, when I
Okay.
voted for Obama, it took me 2 days to figure out where I voted at. Because, like I say, it's not to my discretion. I mean, got my own rights for not liking the vote.
Okay. On December 9th,
Mm-hmm.
when the big document was signed with
Mm-hmm.
the where they had to notarize it and all that there. And I think they
Mm-hmm.
signed it at 10:51 that morning. Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
where were you at 10:51 that morning?
Dallas, Texas, Southwest International.
Now I want y'all to understand. She say she was in Dallas, Texas, at
Mm-hmm.
10:51 on December 9th when the document was signed and notarized. Well, I know she ain't lying because she sent me her electronic truck logs as well as sent me your bill of lading, a copy of your bill of lading that shows you at a terminal in Dallas, Texas at the time they said this document was signed. Now, you sure you couldn't have caught that new bullet train back here and signed that and went back up to Dallas and and you sure you couldn't have did that by 10:51 in the morning? Am I right?
Mm. Unless I have a private jet.
Okay, and I'm well. Janelle Dunn, one of our people that's watching, says her travel log can verify, and I will stand here in my truth and say I have copies of her logbooks, her travel log, as well as her bill of lading.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't there. Okay, so hold on a second. So now all this stuff pop off. I post your picture, and then all of a sudden your phone starts going haywire. Can you tell us what it's been
Oh,
like
I
for
mean,
you
I've got numerous
in the
I've
last
got
3 or 4
phone
days?
calls.
This is what I want. If you
Go
can
ahead.
work with me, we ain't gonna call no names, but I want you to tell these people what it's been like for you in the last three,
I
four
mean,
days.
I ain't gonna say it was pure hell because every action doesn't deserve a reaction. I mean, I'm gonna say that much, but it takes very little to get a lot out of me. And I'll say this to say I mean, I wasn't coming forward. I've been following this a long time. I didn't have nothing to say about it until a picture was placed with the name. Then I spoke up. And like I say, I have a son. Doesn't bother anybody. Good kid. Not the average statistic black males. They go to universities. And when they actually brought his name into it, that's actually what made me speak out was my child. And that's one thing I don't play about. I can't speak for other people. And like I said, also with it being said that it was a immediate family member, I kind of have an idea of who it could possibly be, but we'll deal with that at a later date. Um, Also, one of the other people, I mean, you may know them, may not, but I mean, they know who they are. They call a lot of people that I actually know, and they was, speaking out that federal agents was looking for me, and they was calling out my mom name and my brother's name and different kind of little, odds and ends. They had
Did
pictures.
allegedly a federal agent called you? Am I correct?
Correct.
Or somebody playing like a
Supposedly,
federal? Yeah, supposedly,
supposedly,
allegedly,
supposedly,
a federal agent called you.
yeah, supposedly, yeah, supposedly.
Okay. Can you hear me again?
Yeah, you back now.
Okay.
Yeah, you
It's
back now.
signal. So
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, this federal agent called you, and what did this federal agent say to you?
That someone had been watching my house. Nonetheless, like I say, once again, they gave my child full name, the university he attended, my mom's background, which is not a secret. I mean, she's not hiding from anyone. I mean, nothing really into detail outside of they were looking for me, and they had pictures of me coming out the Democratic Party office. Um,
Well, you know what I find strange? If they had a picture of you coming out of the Democratic Party office,
mhm.
why would we have to post a regular picture and not post that one?
That was my question. Because anybody with common sense, but we must agree that common sense is not so common anymore. Why wouldn't you post that picture if you have a picture of me coming out of Democratic Party office? And I mean, the phone call started soon as your podcast was over because I was informed to tune in that night, and I did. And I mean, my phone did not stop ringing from the time your podcast ended to the previous day, and it went on and on.
Well, first of all, just like my friends are saying, the feds don't call you. The feds
We
ain't gonna
all know
call
that.
you. The
Yeah, we
feds
all
gonna
know that.
come. So the thing is you agreed to have this one on one with me, and I appreciate it. Um,
Hmm.
Never once, and I'm tough. I'm just a tough dude. I don't think I eased up on you one bit, but I was respectful in the way that I came at you to get you to agree to sit down and talk to us. Um, a lot of people are saying, well, how do we know this is the Natasha? Well, it's the Natasha because somebody got her information based on what I'm looking at, based on the fact that she couldn't be in two places at one time. Somebody used her shit. And I think you really need to file some type of charges or at least a report because your identity could have possibly been stolen to figure out exactly what the hell is going on.
Hmm.
But my thing to you is you don't know Richard Bonton. That's what you're telling. You've never had any interactions, no phone calls, no nothing. Now you know the other night we had Mr. Bonton on the show,
Yeah,
and
I saw that. Yeah.
your name came up because he mentioned something about some Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever been in text conversations with Mr. Bonton?
None at all.
Let me see if these guys might have some questions. Hold on. If y'all got a question, shoot it at me.
Yeah, I see some of them.
Because
I see a few I would
okay,
like to address. Somebody said
go
about
ahead.
my name being on the ballot. I mean, if you're not a voter, how would I know my name is on a ballot? Once again, I could care less about politics. I could care less about voting. It may benefit you, but it doesn't benefit me. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, I wouldn't know that my name was there until the end of the race when I seen it on the news as everyone else. And nevertheless, I didn't see it. I got a phone call, which made me tune in to see it. Nevertheless, I didn't respond to my name being out there because once again, people can call your name every day. Because if you Google a name, you're gonna get multiple people. Until somebody puts your face with the name, then you respond. Not until then and not before then. So that's your opinion.
Any more of those you want to address?
Oh, I'm browsing back to see for myself right now. Cause like I say, I mean, I'm not hard to find. Like I say, I'm an average Jane. And
Oh,
when people call me,
actually, I've never met you before.
yeah,
But honestly, you really wasn't that hard to find
no, I'm not.
because it seems like everybody knows you.
Very much, very well known. And what got me, nobody knows me by my government name. So that's why I would never think nothing of it because I'm never called by my government name. When I tell you never, never, and probably many of the calls you receive, you never heard Natasha now time. You might have heard many nicknames, but you've never heard Natasha. That's
Now
even when
here's
you
it.
talk that when you talk to the person that informed you of who they thought I was after the picture was posted. You still didn't get a Natasha from her. That's just not what I go by. And those that know me know what I go by, so I don't even have to say what it is. I mean, if you calling me Natasha, apparently that means you do not know me.
Exactly, I don't.
Yeah.
Exactly, I don't.
And there's
And that's
many
what I've
people
been
that don't.
calling you since the first time we spoke. I think what 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And just so happens
Mm-hmm.
you've been my Facebook friend
For a
forever,
while.
and I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't under your name.
Yeah, for a while. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't under your name, as
Yeah.
well as your cousin is actually in my civic group, my community engagement group, One Houston, One Hood.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
once I put the picture out, that person called me and immediately got you on the phone. And every
Mm-hmm.
single time I needed to speak to you, you've
Mm-hmm.
immediately called me back. You've never ducked me. You've never hid.
Mm-mm.
Your story has never changed.
Mm-mm.
And yet we still can't figure out who Natasha Demming
Yeah.
Ruiz is.
I have no
Now,
reason. I have no reason online on something that I mean. Once again, I could typically give two fucks about, and that's just being honest. So I don't have to sit up and lie to you about something. At the end of the day, I don't care about at all. Like I said, if it affected me or my family in certain types of ways, then yeah, I probably would. But at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me. So my one vote would not hurt nobody. And at the end of the day, it should give us as blacks a little food for thought. If somebody that many people went in and voted for someone on the strength that her last name was Ruiz, that means we have an issue with us being black because nobody should just walk in and vote for somebody just because of their last name. It's not because of a first and a supposedly last name. It's a married last name or whatever the case may be. Because I seen on the other podcast someone said I was never married, and I know I've never been married. That's not surprising to me.
if y'all are just tuning in, this is supposedly the mysterious candidate that's on the ballot in 142. And I'm gonna tell you this here. This is what I feel because all of this is going on. I think you have the right to
Mm-hmm.
eventually show up at the Harris County Democratic Party
Mm-hmm.
and see whatever application that supposedly has your information on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at your actual signature on your trucking logs, and it
Mm-hmm.
does not match either one of those signatures on those papers. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you deserve. I
A
think you
public
deserve to
apology,
go and find out what's going on. Now, the Harris County Democratic Party never accused you. They
of
can only
anything.
relay the information of what was filed with them. But whether it be the notary, whoever did it, it's been
Mm-hmm.
done, and I'm close. And I'm close. Because, like I
Mm-hmm.
say, it didn't take long to find you, and I'm close. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you this here. I deal in fact,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact remains that her signature does not match the signatures on either one of those documents. On the days in question, the 9th of November, she got back in town. By the time she checked her truck in, that place was closed. On the
Mm-hmm.
9th of December, she was not even in the city of Houston at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
So who in the hell filled this paperwork
Mm-hmm.
out?
And one of the comments, Miss Stephanie Mitchell, I am Natasha Demming. Natashademming. I've never been married.
So you've never used the last name Ruiz,
I'm
which
not
I don't see you being a Ruiz.
out, out of all people. Yeah, I am Natasha Demming. And for those that were searching for a classmate, Forest Brook class of 1994, when you start looking for people, make sure you have all your facts straight. I did graduate from Forest Brook High School, but it's the class of 98. It's not the class of 94. So, like I say, every action does not deserve a reaction. Some people need to make sure that if you're going to throw things out there and if you're going to inquire about people and slander their name, whatever the case may be, make sure everything is what it's supposed to be. Because,
What I need you to do is when you get the opportunity, I need you to go over to the Harris County
mm-hmm,
Democratic Party, and I think it's easy to Google their address
mm-hmm,
and take which you have a CDL driver's license, so
correct.
you take your driver's license over there. You take your driver's
Mm-hmm,
license over there and compare it to what was given to them. If that is not your information, then at that point it's kind of like done. But if it is your information, you need to file a police report immediately because based on the documents I saw, somebody could have stolen your identity. They could have stolen
mm-hmm.
your identity. So do you know Jared Davis or Mr. Hal Dutton?
I mean, I don't typically know Mr. Harold. Then, like I said, I've been in the community a long time, and I was actually raised with my grandparents in Rosewood. And I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know Albert Coleman. We was maybe 15, 16, and he would actually get us to help out at different voting polls, passing out pamphlets and stuff, younger kids. And Mr. Dutton been there just that long to, I mean, if I was a teenager now I'm 40 years old, that means Mr. Dutton been there a long time. So once again, the same thing goes for Bonton. I know of him. I don't know him. And when you're not into politics or voting or none of that, so a lot of these people you'll never meet because I mean you're really not into it.
Well, one, I wouldn't want anybody to go through what you've gone through. Your mom is there, from what I
Mm-hmm.
understand, and
Mm-hmm.
people have even went as far on social media as to attack your mom, um,
Mm-hmm.
attack your children, and all this foolishness, man. And
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I will tell you is it couldn't be me
Yeah.
because it would get gangster real fast.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I say, those that know me know my mom's situation and what the situation was. Like I say, which I mean, I'm not going to elaborate on it because it's no one business at the end of the day. And nonetheless, it was 22 years ago. So, I mean, that's somebody being nosy. But like I say, I know a lot of the people that was fishing and, snooping and all of that. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. So I have my paperwork in process. And so, I mean, if they felt that it was okay to slander someone's name or assume that it was them instead of finding out all their facts, dotting all their I's, crossing all their T's before they came to anyone, then I mean, they wouldn't have the issue that they're going to have.
Well, K. Shepherd asks, please ask for C knows absolutely nothing about this supposed scandal.
I knows absolutely nothing. If I don't, if I'm not into politics, I don't take the time. Once again, I mean, I can go say it a million times. I don't even take the time out of my day or life to go to a voting poll. Why would I even affiliate myself with something as that? Because, like in one of the comments, okay, you win this election not knowing nothing about it. Then what do you do because you have your name somewhere and you know absolutely not jack shit on what to do if you was supposedly to win? Okay, what do you do now?
See, that's the scary part.
What do you do now?
What if Natasha Demming Ruiz had actually won?
What would we have done then?
This shit would be really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree with Catherine Hunter. It seems like someone added the Latino name to split the votes. She say, I'm not certain because even if the votes split half black, half Hispanic, it still would cause a runoff and then what totally bizarre. Well, me, I appreciate you taking the time out
Mm-hmm.
to even talk to me because you didn't have to talk to me. You didn't have to, say anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for taking the time out to come on this show
Yeah.
because
One.
I'm telling y'all, I got the documents. She
Yeah.
sent me the logs. I actually have the logs. Hold on, let me see if I can see something. All right, let me check something real quick, y'all.
Okay.
This is
Miss
can, can
K
they see that?
Shepherd.
Where that camera? At? I don't think they can see that up there.
It's too
All right,
close.
she sent me the logs. I'm telling y'all, she sent me the logs. Hold on, I just want to go to the next picture. Uh, Bill of Lading. I want to see Natasha Demming, 12/9/19. Okay, that's Irvington Boulevard, Dallas, Texas. Let's see if we can get close enough. Okay, because you picked up in Laredo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you dropped off. She dropped off in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That's on December 9th. She dropped off in Dallas. So I'm gonna say this here.
I mean,
I'm close, and I ain't gonna stop digging until I find it. Thank you for taking time out, and hopefully the news channels can leave you
yeah.
alone. You can go back to dealing with your family with this pandemic,
Yeah.
and because I loved when I was
Yeah.
driving. I loved when I was driving. So
Yeah.
do you know Jerry Davis
Yeah,
put
I
up
see
masks? I know we
somebody's
said
asking
about
that. Now I actually don't. I actually don't know Mr. Davis, but I mean somebody call him Jerry Snake Davis. I've heard just as many, uh, yeah, as you've heard, but no, unfortunately I don't know him either. I mean, just goes well. So I mean, everybody I know of from signs, banners, whatever the case may be. I don't know if y'all from this side of town or whatever, but I mean the same goes for Mr. Davis. I don't know him either. Miss
okay. Well, I tell
Shepherd.
you
I
what,
don't know who
sweetheart.
Miss Shepherd is, but no, I'm not implicating that my mother
Okay.
worked with anyone. I'm saying that someone is actually, nevertheless, snooping into my mom's business from 22 years ago. So no, I'm not saying my mom did anything with anyone. So that's to answer
Now,
her
now,
question.
now, my friend Tara Taylor says, I kind of believe her. Is the address the same? The address has to be the same because Maya Shea wouldn't have showed up at our house.
Yeah,
So somebody has this girl information. But you said in the beginning that it may be family related, but you
yeah,
got to
that's what
deal
I
with that
got.
on another level.
Yeah, that's what I've gotten. I mean, I've gotten this from an immediate family, and nevertheless, they are in this political aspect. And I mean, they've been in this, many times. They wasn't successful in their running. But I mean, I'm not gonna say anything more into that until I do my own thing. So I mean, sh- they are into politics, which it says a lot if they continue to run and they're not successful either. But hey, that's to their discretion as well. But I mean, everybody's not honest. You can get 30,000 comments on here. Somebody gonna have something to say. But if you go to any social media site,
Exactly.
you can buy social media security, ID, credit card. I mean, anything you want now for a little bit of nothing. There's so much scamming going on. It's just unreal in today's time. So it's nothing for somebody to be Jerry Monroe. I mean, and go in wherever they want to go. And it's not you at the end of the day. And who's scanning a driver license or ID like that to say whether it's
Well,
real or
I
fake?
think that you deserve to go to the Harris County Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve to speak to the person in charge, which is Lily Setzer,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the notary
Mm-hmm.
who took a fake whatever with your
Mm-hmm.
information on it. You
Mm-hmm.
deserve to speak to these people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that notary
Mm-hmm.
works for the party, and it is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. Yeah, it's like Amy Arsenault Field said, it's
Mm-hmm.
shots fired, not dog. Possibly have somebody facing federal charges over some. It ain't that. It ain't worth that
No.
to be a politician.
No, it's really not.
It ain't worth all
It's
that
really
to be a
not.
politician.
And I mean, and like I said, I followed your podcast the other day. You look at all the people that y'all named that actually their addresses, and I don't know what it is about 142 because there's typically not shit going on around here because you can't go down Homestead doing 50 miles an hour without needing a tire by the time morning comes. So there's typically not shit that no one is doing to be just um so outright in file. I mean, being whatever it is in 142. I don't know because, like, once again, I'm not in politics. But a lot of people they are going to properties and getting addresses and all that other. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know if that's a part of politics. If you just say that's your address, then you can run in that area. It may be, but who am I to say?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this here, cause I know your people. They work with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Got mad love for them. And
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I like about them, they're a lady, but they represent their hood, man.
Mm-hmm.
You from around that Rosewood area. You got your tattoos on. You keep it gangster, but you of federal law. That's all that
Mm-hmm.
matters. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? As long as she didn't violate state or federal law.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, me and, but me and you gonna stay in contact for one
Please,
reason.
please do.
We both gonna lay eyes on this sucker that used your
Please
information
do.
because the hood don't sleep on no foul shit like this
Yeah.
here, man. It is what it is, man.
All
All
right.
right, mama,
Thank you.
you
Y'all
click
have a good
off,
one.
you good. All right. Whether you want to believe her or not, what's wrong? Whether you want to believe her or not, I deal in fact. And the facts say that she was not here. And trust me, filing criminal complaints for identity theft, Mr. Dutton, I'm gonna help her. And I got the logs. She was not here. But somebody got her information. Now she won't tell me who the family member is. You feel what I'm saying? But she's got to do her own homework. And she say once she figure that out, she's gonna let me know. Thank you, Damien. You see what I'm saying? And it's a damn shame. And this is why the whole race just it needs to go, man. Y'all, the people out there deserve better. They deserve better. So Natasha Demming Ruiz sitting down in the war zone with me, it was what it was. I'm gonna move on to a couple of things. You see, there's a difference in the war zone tonight because I'm gonna tell you something. We are not a three-man fraction anymore. Now, am I upset? No, not at all. Move on. Both sides, y'all move on, I move on. But the one thing I gotta stand in is my truth. I gotta stand in my truth. Last night was a bunch of foolishness. And the foolishness started because I woke up yesterday morning and God told me to look at the reason why Cynthia Bailey went to jail. I'm sitting on a show last night arguing back and forth. But the whole time I'm arguing, I got the latest whole criminal court file. Yeah, I got the whole file. So, do you rightfully support somebody who has a felony for theft, or do you support somebody who has a history of theft? Whoa, what you talking about? A history? Yes, the lady has 3 felony convictions dealing with money. I couldn't say it last night, so I'm here to say it tonight. It ain't gonna be no sleeping on this. So would I be comfortable with somebody who has a history of money issues going to jail for whether it's hot checks or whatever? 3 felonies? No, not 1 felony, 3 felonies. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Do I believe a felon deserves a second chance? Yes. But would I put a pedophile in a crack house? I mean, would I put a pedophile in a nursery? Would I put somebody who was on drugs, give him a job to be security at the crack house? No, I wouldn't do that. So this lady has 3 different felonies. And I got the documentation. So I don't have to order anything. I don't have to pay for anything. This is public record. Also, there was a statement made that she got 18 months. That is not true. I posted the plea agreement. And the plea agreement says that she got 10 years. And she did 18 months on 10 years. So you don't get 10 years in the feds for $5,000. The feds ain't even coming for 5Gs. They not finna do that. So what really happened? Well, based on what's in the actual file, based on what's in the actual file, she was the mastermind, according to the court documents. She was the mastermind. There was 1 check cashed for 17,000, and then there was another check cashed for 242,000. 242,000. But I tell you what we can do. I can do you one better. Sit back, because I got what I need. I don't run on foolishness. I run on fact. Y'all give me just a second and I'll pull this up. I'll pull this up. Okay, here we go. So here we go. This is the actual file to Cynthia's case. 100 different sheets. 100 different sheets. Okay? So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end. Let me tell you who you're dealing with. Since people want to play, I'm in the business of exposing people, and I actually don't have a dog in the hunt. It says, on or about June 12th, 2003 through February 4th, 2004, the defendant, Cynthia Bailey, along with co-defendants Valerie Gibson, Louis Lamont, and Lamont Tubbs, participated in the theft of checks from the North Forest Independent School District, the poorest Harris County School District. 2 checks were cashed, one in the amount of 17,000, the other in the amount of 242,000. Those 2 checks were taken without the consent of North Forest ISD. The North Forest ISD, bear with me because this is bad. The defendant was the friend of Valerie Gibson, who worked in the business office of North Forest. Gibson gave Bailey 1 check for 17,000 for startup costs. The second check was bonded but blank. Bailey took those checks to her friend Lamont Tubbs. Louis Lamont wrote a check to Bailey from the proceeds to her business. It is unknown if she got any additional cash. Bailey gave cash payments to Gibson of the amount of $20,000. Let me make sure y'all got bad eyes. Once defendant Louis Lamont received the stolen checks, they were sent by Federal Express to a bank in Las Vegas. The money was then wired back to banks in Houston, and Louis Lamont would write checks to all the co-defendants. You know why she cut the deal? Because you were facing a plethora of charges. Conspiracy, wire fraud, everything. It is what it is. And you cut the deal. So D. Harris, Wright, 18 months. TDJC, 10 years parole. Gary, the people are still going to vote for Bailey. And I don't have a problem with that. Just don't have a problem when a person with a checkered past ends up in our city government that already has issues with money. A few years back, there was a guy that was at HCC. His name was Chris Oliver. And Chris Oliver had to come off the board. He ended up, I think Chris ended up with 6 years in the federal penitentiary because he got caught up. Every one of these governmental entities around here is looking for the next Chris Oliver. They need a crash dummy. But y'all got bigger issues than B. Because according to the law, and I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. If Cynthia Bailey wins, if she wins, the state of Texas is not going to allow her to take her seat. You will be without representation, or Jared Davis will be stuck in that seat for almost the next 1 to 2 years. So what y'all gonna do? But more importantly, tomorrow night, I'm gonna come on here and talk about Tasha Jackson. Because if Cynthia got a felony, then why does Tasha get to run? Why does she get to run? Also has residency issues. I'll prove that tomorrow night. It is what it is. What you have to understand is you have to want better. You have to want better. And I'm gonna address this. This District B knows Demetria that she's went to jail. A lot of people don't know why. I didn't know why she went to jail. If she wins, she wins. We don't win. Because you know why? And then I'm going to leave y'all with this here. Jared Davis, Tasha Jackson, Cynthia Bailey. No matter how they go down, y'all stuck, bro, and don't even know it. Y'all stuck, bro. The reason that District B is screwed up right now, because you have a city council person that doesn't have a vested interest in your neighborhood at all. Doesn't have a vested interest in your neighborhood. And all they're going to do is, if you go and do the research, Jerry's going to keep adding to his portfolio. And the more property that he gets, the more you will be gentrified. You have to make a decision that it's time for different representation. And you can't get that unless you're willing to step out there and do what you need to do. Demetria Smith, no matter what she run for, I think she'd be great. Gary Monroe, yeah, I could run for something and do my thing. But it's you who have to make that decision. And if you're comfortable with your streets being raggedy, if you're comfortable with nothing but beauty supplies and liquor stores in your neighborhood, then I'm happy for you. If you're comfortable just getting the bare minimum in your communities, and you got all this trash and all this gang violence, then you need to look at your representation. And your representation does not need to be bought and paid for. by somebody else. You can't buy me. So the reason I brought this up, and this is what's floating around. See, because y'all watch me all the time, and I tell the truth every single time. This is the lie that's being told. The reason I brought Cynthia Bailey up is because Renee Jefferson Smith hired me. I have never met Renee Jefferson Smith. Why don't y'all inbox and ask her? Never met her. I'm dead serious about children. And anybody that screws over some kids, I will not rest. You need to understand when those schools went down, that's the reason that whole community went down. That's what happens when you close schools. You close the community. So is it personal with me and Cynthia? Fuck no. No, not at all. But I don't believe that you, with the way I know them people operate in City Hall, Demetri, and you know how they operate, that ain't the place for you, sweetheart, if you win, because they're going to use you up and you're going to end up back in jail. You got to be strong. You got to be strong. But I can't take the chance. I wouldn't take the chance. So if you're comfortable with what you have as your representation, do your thing. Your streets will never get fixed, and they'll keep killing everybody. That ain't what I said, Demetri. You're not listening, sweetheart. It's on you to make the decision. It's totally on you. But tonight I had a ball by myself, and I want everybody to understand one thing. I've been rocking the hood CNN for 7 years. And now I'm going to rock the war zone the same way I rock the hood CNN. And ain't nothing finna change. I can tell you that much. But I do appreciate that young lady coming on this show to speak her truth. But not just run her mouth. She had a documentation to back it up. Mr. Dutton, I'm on it. Don't worry about it, big homie. I got you. It is what it is. I can tell you that much. It is what it is. And those who are dealing with this pandemic, wake up in the morning. When you wake up and you're breathing, you done fought the best fight the pandemic could see. Be smart. Be smart. It is 7:59. I started at 7. I'm a stickler for time. And I want to tell you, tomorrow night, I'm going in, Tasha Jackson. Get a seatbelt, baby. Because you know what it is. It's the war zone. With the 5-star general. Ain't no faking with me. Every one of you politicians better understand one thing. I got the stomach and the guts and 2 big set of nuts to keep coming get you. I'll holler at y'all.